The legacy of Nation at Risk is that it is the beginning of the modern education reform movement.
The big achievement of Nation at Risk was to make educational quality something that was at the center of national discussions.
I think that it was one of the important things that got governors across the nation to step out and begin to lead.
In fact, over the course of the next year after A Nation at Risk was released, there were over 250 state task force. Granted, there are only 50 states.
So it sounded the bell, made a clarion call for basically increasing accountability, giving people real deep curricula, deep learning, improving the teaching core, and moving the nation forward so that we would no longer be at risk.
Nation at Risk report was important because it really created a national focus on an issue that needed it.
It was the first moment where government said, we have a problem. And the fact that it was the government looking at itself was watershed.
I mean, this is something that we kind of can trace the lineage from Nation at Risk to No Child Left Behind to Common Core and onward.
You know, we've been talking about education reform since A Nation at Risk, and we're talking about many of the same themes of accountability and quality and access for folks.
When they're talking about the Learning Society in the Nation at Risk report, they say, without lifelong learning, one's skills will become rapidly dated. So really, you know, I think the big question that comes out of that is democracy is not genetic.
You know, it's so foundational and fundamental to our democracy to have an educated citizenry who could discern right from wrong and participate actively in a public debate, who could do the things and gain the skills that were so necessary in a global world.
And so in 2012, the Council on Foreign Relations asked Secretary Condoleezza Rice and myself to co-chair a committee of about 24 people from all over different parts of the spectrum.
And I had the opportunity to serve on that task force that really talked about education being a national security imperative.
It is a national security issue, and our country is still at risk.
And our peers and competitors around the world have picked up the pace and often are beating us.
I think in that 30 years between A Nation at Risk and the report that Secretary Rice and I did, I think there was some progress made. In that period, for the first time, we started to see a new system open up of charter schools, of charter groups like KIPP and Uncommon.
We've made great progress. We have many more parents that have choices that otherwise they wouldn't have.
We're creating new options that families wanted, getting documentably better results.
Today, many states grade their schools based on student learning, A, B, C, D, and F.
It's up to the states to help every student to succeed. Okay, let's do it. Governors have to lead it. The people have to respond. We've got to make education our #1 priority. And this nation can do it and have a great future if we do it.